As usual, the weekend was too short. But off we go. And I don't know how well it's coming through on the camera, but it is very smoky out here today. It was maybe just slightly worse yesterday and pretty bad last night overnight too. This is all smoke coming up from wildfires in California and Oregon, and it's pretty thick. The air quality index is in the orange, and you can smell it and taste it. So probably not real good for me to be out here breathing this shit riding a motorcycle to and from work, but that's what I'm doing. It's definitely been a lot worse than this here in the past. There was actually a time we closed the shop because it was so thick. The shop was full of smoke and we just couldn't even work in it. That was at the automotive shop I worked in here, not the shop I'm working at now. But yeah, it's bad. It was really bad yesterday. I didn't realize how bad it was, and took Claudie for a ride. And we went on our little Weber Canyon ride that we like to take, and we were about 3/4 of the way through the ride, and I was getting a bad headache from all that smoke. So that's my excuse for not having mown my lawn this week. But I may do it after work, or I may just let it go for a couple days. Chances are I won't do it after work. I'm usually pretty tired by the time I get off work, and I get home pretty late, and I don't feel like doing yard work late in the evening. I'd have done it first thing in the morning, but the sprinklers, we forgot the sprinklers were plugged in, so the sprinklers kind of run on their own at random if we leave them plugged in. And they had run kind of late in the morning, and I wanted to let the grass dry out before I tried to cut it. And because if you cut it when it's wet, it just makes a big mess. But it's not too wild yet. It'll be okay until this coming Saturday. I'm only going to need to mow it 2 or 3 more times this year anyway. I hate mowing the lawn. I hate yard work. I've got too many other things I'd rather be doing than cut down plants that are just going to grow back. Just so it looks good so the neighbors don't get upset. That said, I also hate when my yard looks like shit. And I can't afford to pay a landscaping company to come do it for me, so I guess I'm screwed and I'm just mowing my own lawn. Yes, I had a green light and still slowed way down and looked both ways because that's how much faith I have in humanity. Well, I have an idea of what adventures I'm supposed to have at work today, but I also know how rapidly plans change. So, curious to see what I'm going to get into at work today. There is a twin cam road glide that needs well, it doesn't need a set of cams, but he wants a set of performance cams put in it. So that's a job that I may or may not do today. And there's a 27-year-old Softail that I put a carburetor on last week. That I need to make sure still runs good this morning, and then we'll ship that. And there's a 27-year-old ATV that got a carburetor last week as well, and I also need to make sure that still runs good, and then we can ship that. And those are the two things I know for sure that I'm going to do this morning. Man, that smoke is thick. Like I said, it really was worse yesterday, and I've seen it a lot worse than this here, but it's still quite bad. I've seen it so bad I couldn't see the Blue Bridge from here. That being the Blue Bridge. I could not see it at all. kind of creepy and surreal when it gets like this. Like something out of a horror flick or a sci-fi movie or something. Sunrises and sunsets are sure pretty though. You definitely notice a difference when you go from sport mode to standard. Like you notice how much less responsive the bike is. It's still a possibility that I'll try and ride it around for a week in rain mode. But I don't know. I don't know if I can handle the throttle being that numb. Because it is quite, you know, still quite good, quite responsive in standard mode. Just not as much as it is in sport mode. Alright, so we're back in standard mode. We've put 2.736 gallons into the tank on 104 miles. Oops, wrong button. And here we are, back to the shop. Y'all have a great day.